please stop gooning right now. If you don't, then this man will shoot up your house. Pow, pow, pow. No, seriously, stop. So I discovered this at a very early age. Started from as a child, discovering it on TV, to clothing magazines, browsing through the women's section, and then finally fast forward to websites. I didn't know it at the time, but this had a massive negative effect from a mental aspect, compounded slowly over the years, and I lost out on having a great life early on, and I wasted a lot of time, not just on this, but what I was doing outside of this, because I was tired all the time. Now I see what went wrong. I never knew about these websites until someone showed me it on my PlayStation 3, and I remember it was 3 of us in my room. We closed the curtains so no one sees. I didn't click on the video, but we could see the pictures changing every second as a presentation. One of my friends was covering his eyes with both of his hands, and I didn't even know what was going on or what I was seeing, and I honestly felt nothing. But that website, the URL, stuck in my head for many years, which I revisited when I was about 15 or 16. Then after that age, it became a way of life for me. It gave me a negative self-image, which is not good when you go in the real world, as nowadays, in 2026, there are a bunch of assholes that thrive on that energy offline and online like a bunch of vampires. I still remember what video it was, and looking back, I get sad thinking about it. I just wish till this day that I avoided it because it just pulled me in. The curiosity and built up energy, I just wanted to see more and more. What else is out there? It just was never enough. Now in 2026, this is a huge problem around the world, and just like myself, we want a solution on how do you quit this. It's a hot topic and people know the negative effects of it, and some people are fine with it. I've tried many things to quit and nothing worked for me. I knew from an early age that something isn't right with this. I figured out that this isn't a problem, it's something else, which I'll go through on the solution later on in this video, so make sure to watch till the end to find out. Now last month, I got a massage after seeing massage videos on these websites. Out of curiosity, I wanted to try it out, and it turns out it was one of the worst decisions I've made. I just deeply regret it. It's going to be the last time I'm doing this because after I done it, I got into deep depression. I was in the alleyway by myself after midnight, evaluating my whole life and figuring out what mistakes I made, how do I improve my situation and circumstances. I remember when Drake said in Star 67, "Ain't no pussy on a pedestal." I was reflecting thinking, I wonder what life is like when you get to that level. What does that even feel like when you're having a conversation with any kind of woman and seeing her as a human being? What bothered me the most about the massage is how the woman just didn't want to be there. She was yawning. The whole thing just felt so fake to me, being overly nice, and if I paid for it, someone probably got it for free. So why should I pay in the first place? And my mind was playing all these games that you're a sucker or a trick, whatever the street term is called. I felt terrible afterwards, and she even said that I'm too skinny, which I don't even know why she said it, but this just pissed me off. She even said when we were just talking that she drinks beers, and I looked at the back of her body, she had tattoos, and immediately I was like, yeah, I would just never date this kind of woman. But you look way past that when you're craving human connection. I remember her skin touching mine and it felt good. This feels way better than going on these websites to get it. What was really messed up, and I can't believe I'm saying this on the video, I released so much before I went for that massage, and even afterwards when this was done, I went back to my place and released more consistently going on the websites. It just was never enough, and this is the problem. It's just never enough. You just want more and more. I finally found a solution after many years that I believe will fix this problem. Reality kicked me up in my ass, and I realized now that things have changed. I need to transition from a boy to a man, and I've seen with my own eyes when I go into the real world, where I've seen few times man-childs. These people probably didn't have a harsh reality check, or nobody sat them down to tell them what works and what doesn't work. But I certainly don't want to be a man-child. Being skinny is just terrible. I've been skinny my whole life. You're seen as an easy target. Women don't see you as a person that can protect them, and you're tired all the time. And for my case, sometimes been a few instances where my bones be hurting as well. So I know that I need to put on more weight. The way I was living my life in the past, it just doesn't work in the real world. I need to resemble simplicity with fashion. We've lost that with fashion, right? Where it's more about the high price tag on a garment rather than what looks good on you. So you can go to Zara, H&M, or River Island, have a really good outfit for £200 to £300, or even slightly a bit higher as well, that looks really good on you. With the help of fashion, this will help me blend into any environment, even resembling professionalism and maturity, which has a multifaceted output from dating, corporate world, business world, social settings where people respect you. And I've realized that this works to get what you want out of dating. So after that stupid incident, because of how upset I was, I ended up going to the gym like 5 times per week, and I was eating more. I'm asking ChatGPT to help me count my calories of protein every day. I'm going swimming and walks at the park. I would go to this cafe like every day to order just black coffee, and it got to the point I would walk in and the staff knew exactly what I wanted without even asking them what I want to order. And yes, I'm one of those customers where I order the same every single day without changing anything, as long as you give me a good experience. There was a female staff member who was in her 50s, and she was asking me, "Are you married?" She was asking me so many questions which I wasn't really used to, and she told me that I'm handsome and I have nice big eyes, and she was skinny herself, and she didn't even go to the gym. She just told me that she walks a lot. And I'm sharing this story to y'all, reminding you the importance of going outside. You just never know who you will bump into or who you become friends with. I'm talking for myself also, to find not only dating opportunities but business opportunities, which is very important for me to figure out what problems to solve, what people are complaining about at the moment. I don't know if you guys realize, but customer service sucks, and I wish this problem gets solved, but I don't know, I might solve it myself, but we'll see. For now, we've lost that in this generation, being in our white dome, addicted to that white snow. Now, the first problem I encountered with the white snow is being on low battery mode at all times, throwing the charger in the bin, as I'll feel the same way the next day. I didn't have the motivation to get out of bed, brush my teeth, and there was a period where I went a week without taking a shower. And yes, this was my life at one point. I just didn't want to do anything, nor did I want to get into the real world. No motivation to pursue my curiosity with projects, being consistent with it for weeks, or to make money. I would just postpone it. And I figured out now why I was dealing with low motivation, and it's because as a man, your main motivator is getting women. So you're going to work your face off to become successful so you can have that outcome. You see this movie play out amongst many men where they become successful to create a situation at some point to attract women, because without the success they had a difficult dating life, so they didn't want to experience that anymore. When you go on these websites to release, you don't have the motivation to strive for anything, and this is what happened to me. I wasted so much time, and I wasn't those who spent 18 hours a day on these websites. Like, fuck that, it's just too much. But it's what you do outside of this activity which leads to wasted time. For me, it was just doing nothing and sitting around, because you just feel like shit every day, right? And doing even simple tasks like making your bed, taking a shower, or cooking just felt like a chore. The next problem I encountered for many years is I put women on a pedestal. I remember Carmela Clutch, I don't know if you guys know, the P-star, said in an interview that she dated this fan and he was putting her on a pedestal. The fan, I think, waited 2 years just to smash her. And for me, I don't care who you are, I don't have the tolerance for that. I'ma block you and For me, that's just insane. Here's the problem: when you're on these websites, you begin to put everyday women on a pedestal, overthinking, and you become out of touch with reality. And that's why the world is just such a crazy place. Because of the programming from these videos, you become this awkward person because of how many years you've been dedicated to your room that you don't even know how to function in the real world. What becomes sad is that your room becomes an addiction in itself because you have no one around, so you could be who you want to be, which gives you the dopamine in itself. Majority of the time, going outside can be painful when you're dealing with so many personalities, and now it's obviously shit to go outside if you're from the UK. Nowadays in 2026, I just don't like being around people, and you will understand this statement when you go to London why I said this. But for me, I always felt like I was never enough, hence why I never got a girlfriend in the first place. I always felt as though I needed to be perfect in order for a woman to accept. I dealt with this for many years, having this mentality. I had many women that were interested in me, but I never proceeded further because I had all of these insecurities. That is my sword small? Will she get turned off when we both go in the showroom? All of this developed because of the comparison to the guys I saw in these videos. I remember one time I will never forget that my old personal trainer, when we were talking about something during our short break after a set, he said that this woman that he pointed to is coming to the gym because she probably wants to get a BF. I think I was asking for some advice from him and he mentioned that. And at the time when he gave that reply, I was like, how is that even possible that this woman is going to the gym to attract a BF? Because the whole time I had this perception that all women don't need a boyfriend and they don't go to the gym for that reason. I just never understood that, which just goes to show how out of touch I was from reality because of this. Now, I'm going to include multiple problems into one, and that is negative thoughts, depression, low self-esteem, severe social anxiety when you exit out the door. This leads to feeling like every day is grey rather than sky blue. I've dealt with all of the above for many years and it became a way of life for me. All of these problems connect with each other because of the comparison when you see the guys online slanging it down. You get out in the real world and you see women everywhere. I had this thought that maybe I'm just not enough. They probably want those guys from those videos. There was times in my life where I found it very difficult going out. I just didn't want to be seen and I'm feeling uncomfortable when people are walking towards me. I wanted to teleport out of there because I just didn't feel good about myself. Looking back now, it's just such a shit way to live and it doesn't work either. I became a very strategic and logical person when it comes to women, and that in itself doesn't work either. I think for this part of life you can't think much, because if you think too much when it comes to dating, you will fuck everything up. I just feel like you have to be in the moment and not think much. I didn't know what to do. How do I ask a girl out on a date? How do I form a conversation? And what do I do next? It's just simple and it's common sense. All of a sudden I'm thinking about step 20 and I haven't even taken the first step. I'm in my head so much and don't know where to begin. I remember one time there were two girls that came in the store I was working in, and one of the girls took a liking in me when I was speaking to both of them. I looked away and I could see in the corner of my eye the girl is just looking at me and smiling. They were supposed to leave and they just stayed. The other girl, the one that didn't smile, asked me a question and I knew right away, oh yeah, these girls like me. What I did, I looked at them after when they were sitting down and I was like, bro, I don't even know what to do if I speak to them. And what if this escalates and I screw everything up and then they will see the real me and instantly take a disliking to me and talk about me negatively behind my back. So I hid somewhere out of sight, waited for them to leave, and when they left, I just came back. The pain was unbearable, being in my head a lot, that I isolated myself, which became comfort for me. This is what this does. It changes your mind, and the difference when I went weeks without this, it was just night and day. I just became a go-getter, getting things done daily. That dies out to me when I'm constantly releasing. When at the start you're facing the grey clouds above, it's hard to keep going until you see white clouds. When you always have your dome to go back to numb that pain, because because the big dragon is always waiting for you outside. It's way too big to defeat with all the negativity loaded in your head, until at some point you have this urge to hide from the world because it just gets too much. I'm just talking from experience. Like I need something to comfort me, like anything. And that's where the Gooners Dome comes in. When is the day going to come when I enjoy my social life, I make new friends outside, or I sit down to speak to women? It just feels confusing. I'm just going to postpone instead for later. That's how I felt years back. It just didn't make any sense to me. How do I fit in these scenarios? I remember at work, female customers would come in and I would find it really hard to form eye contact. I would just feel uncomfortable and women would sense it. I used to hate this so much. I just wish at the times I could hide it, but it's very difficult to hide it when people sense that you're uncomfortable. A lot of it came from how I viewed myself, that I'm just not enough, that I have to appear perfect so these women don't reject me or embarrass me. I finally figured it out. To burn this dome down successfully and to become an ungooner is to improve your dating and social life by getting in the real world with consistency, starting small to gain daily positive experiences. Before doing that, I need to get to the dough first so I can make myself look attractive afterwards, so I put on a good impression when I get out. I can use my cake to improve my fashion, interior design at my place, grooming, hiring a PT and a stylist to look the part. So when I get in these settings, people are more open to want to be around me because I look good rather than chasing and doing too much, which for me is just not worth the effort. I think this is a great trade-off at the end, so it's worth the sacrifice instead of approaching women without those I mentioned above. You cannot ungoon if your life is shit and you don't like it at all, which affects your social and dating life. Hence why I was doing this consistently. I need to get an exceptional life eventually with the help of my cake, which will massively improve my mood, energy, and I'll feel better about myself, which will affect my social and dating life. It will be easy rather than doing it without the cake. And when I say cake, I mean money. People just want to be around that person if he looks good, has high energy, happy, and feels good about himself. You get to that state when you're getting positive experiences from people. It becomes a snowball where people just are curious to know, who is that guy? I want to be around him. I want to know more about him. Why would I want to go back to the goon box if my social and dating life is great? It just doesn't make any sense because I don't need it. And getting cake will allow that because I can use that income to build a better life, which attracts all the birds. This is the point I'm getting across. This is why all the strategies that people mention online, use blockers, go gym, put your phone in another room, take cold showers, and be aware of all the triggers. It doesn't work when you have a shit life. And in order to not have a shit life, you need to get large amounts of cake to create a situation where eventually you get the sweetness out of this cheating online simulation on a high rank. What's great about money is it will allow you to get great experiences in the world. And now I understand Scarface's quote as to why he mentioned money in the first place. Feel free to comment below what y'all think. Do you agree or disagree with this? And how did you quit? Or are you still struggling with this? I'll catch y'all in a future video as an American boy. Take care.